The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey and none deliver it, for a spoil and none said restore. Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akims that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. In this lesson today, I got an article queued up here that says Louisiana prison costs surge 2 years after Landry. Lawmakers vote to lengthen criminal sentences. All right. So what this devil is doing, all right, he's carrying out, dropping laws to basically further keep Jake in prison. America itself already is a prison, all right, but they keeping Jake in these prison houses, and really that's the anger of the Lord, reserving the wicked until the day of his judgment. You see, because a lot of men they don't know about the way that they go it. So the Lord will put you in jail for an appointed time, all right, just so he could destroy you, man. All right? Or he can put you in jail to deliver a prophecy to you, like, you know, he did John. All right? So, but we know, for the most part, you know, some of those Jakes in jail are innocent, but whoever died being innocent, you know, technically, all right? Because, you know, because sentence against a work is not executed speedily, is fully set in the heart of men to do evil. You see? So, see, the Lord will wait 2 to 3 generations to judge you, man. All right? And that's the Lord's patience on what he actually want to do. So, you think, oh, he just in jail, you know, he been committing adultery, murder, all manners of breaking the law and sin. He's lie, he in jail, he gonna get out one day. And then it's, you know, he served his punishment and so bad. But nah, you know, because most of our people go up against our own people. All right, but you got this devil further using the laws of justice, unrighteous decrees, all right, to what? Well, the injustice system to what? Basically store Jake away. All right, it tell you in Revelation 13 and 8. Well, Salakia. Zechariah 13 and 8. Salakia for that. All right. It reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. And that's going to happen over in America. All right. That 2/3 of those people goes to the Israelites. All right. His sanctuary. But the 1/3 shall be left there, and that 1/3 represents the elect. Okay? That'll be saved. Okay? But furthermore, 2/3. So there's a reservation for 2/3. And a lot of our people are in the prison system. You know, they're not dead. They're just put away. All right? Not knowing that they about to come to the king, be brought to the king of terrors. Remember, the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. All right, but again, he have appointed them a day in which he gonna, you know, he gonna destroy them. You know. Well, let me read some of this article. All right, I'll get a couple more precepts showing the Lord preserve reservation, shall I say? It says 2 years after Governor Jeff Landry and state lawmakers voted to lengthen that Governor Landry dude, that's Trump guy there, man. All right, letting dozens of him and Trump friends prison sentence for criminal convictions. And this Nero 47, all right, he coming out with an ironclad fist, man. And he's making these laws more warlike, man. All right, NDAA Act and a lot of these bills that have been passed is to basically strip Jake of any just due. All right, basically take the law ripped the law that they thought they had, because the law, the Constitution, is a piece of paper, ripped the law away from them, man. All right, to where you could just be permanently stored in jail without no court date, man, until further notice. All right, go look at the National Defense Authorization Act, man. All right, and you'll see that, you know, these things have stripped your rights away secretly, man. Not secretly, but, you know, that's the anger of the Lord working in the children of disobedience, man, to continue their wrath upon you. And that's the Lord's wrath, because you don't want to hearken. You don't want to listen, man. It says, the governor's staff says state incarceration expenses are surging 2 years after Governor Landry and state lawmakers voted to lengthen dozens of prison sentences for criminal convictions. The governor's staff says state incarceration expenses are surging. And that's why the Lord, the reason why it's surging, because, you know, obviously, you know, Jake stay his ass in jail. The population is growing more and more, because this system or this law is kind of set up to put you in jail. You see? So therefore, you would take away any little rights you thought you had. They can take that away. All right. It says Landry's team presented a budget proposal Friday that includes an 82 million year-over-year increase in state funding for its correction systems. And what they do, they tax the poor, and we pay for all that. All right. Louisiana state tax goes to the prison system, the roads, and amongst other things, that none of this shit is getting taken care of, man. They feeding the prisoners and the inmates slop. All right. So they using us to, you know, fund the food for our wicked cousins who just won't go rob, steal, and kill all goddamn day, man. All right. We paying for the air conditioning and the lights and everything of that nature, man. This shit is crazy. It says, which pays for 9 prisons as well as the parole and probation system. You see, for them to lord over us and watch over us, we pay them indirectly, not knowing. It says, state spending on Louisiana State Penitentiary, the maximum security prison in Angola, would go up at least $17.5 million alone, according to Landry Brothers' presentation. And I'll say this, on the news, I think a day or two ago, I saw that a man was killed in Angola, a young man. I think it was like, either he was a teen or he was like 37. All right, he was found dead, and an investigation is ongoing. And that's just one of many they cover up. All right, it's hundreds of thousands of inmates that you think is in jail. They've been in there so long, all right, that they're in the graveyard. These state prisons, they got a cemetery there, all right, that they can bury you alive or dead. All right, so that's why I started out with Isaiah 42 and 22. They are snared in holes. They are kept in prison holes, man. But I wanted to make this about really the Lord reserving Jake to basically destroy Jake, man. Because in them prison houses, you got all manners of religion going on. All right, Muslim probably be the Muslims probably be the main thinking there. All right, for safety, and Jake joined it. All right, to try to get his life together, to try to get near to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, but they're not seeking the Lord aright. Their heart is not aright. They won't get next to the Lord because they got caught and went to jail. And when they come home, they just be niggas, man. All right, they leave off their religion, they worship, you know, and this is just what it is. All right. It says the change equates to 11% hike from current state funding in the correction budget, and would bring yearly state general funding spending on those services from $716.5 million to $798.2 million starting July 1st. It says Gary Westcott, Secretary of the Department of Public Safety and Corrections, says some of the increase can be attributed to lengthier prison sentences Landry and Louisiana legislation have proposed. yeah, you know, getting those unrighteous decrees. All right. That's why I said don't have no fellowship with the throne of iniquity, man. All right. They say let their law be the strength of justice, man. All right. But it's really the strength of injustice. You know, putting them Jim Crow laws on Jake. All right. They're going to start, you know, giving Jake life sentences for stealing candy and shit, man. All right. Once they implement martial law, it says another law change now prohibits people from having their prison stay reduced for the time they spend sitting in jail before they are convicted or plead guilty. Additionally, Landry and lawmakers abolished almost all access to parole, and the number of people being released via parole has dropped to its lowest level in 20 years, according to ProPublica. So you playing for parole and probation, you know, those are programs for Jake to have a earlier get prison release or sentence, or get, you know, get some of his sentence terminated early, so Jacob get reacclimated in society. All right, and you know, reduce his mind from doing those things which is often wicked. But really, that hardened Jake. He that been often reproved harden his neck. You see? And when Jake come off from jail, he think, you know, the world owe him something. Nobody ain't messed with him while he was in there. All the whole while, he's not looking on his own self for accountability, man. Saying like, I got myself in here. I was doing things. I was thinking in a low down scumbag way, man. You know, defrauding my people, robbing, you know, stealing, whatever. Even if you're doing it to the other nations, I mean, hey, you still in their kingdom. So these are things to consider. All right. All to stroke your ego, right? Go after your pleasures, whatever the case may be, man. But whatever reason, all right, the Lord put it in your heart for you to do something, to go to jail, so the Lord can lock you away. He gave you life so you can live in that. Then what? Judgment coming. All right? Because ain't nobody escaping judgment. Remember that. All right? It says critics of lengthier prison sentences expected them to increase the state's prison population, which appears to be happening. And they had did an article, I think a couple months ago, about how the feds or these private prison owners is basically charging the states to put more Jakes in jail, man. And then now they passed the law for longer prison sentences. You don't get it? Put two and two together. You gonna stay there and you gonna die there, man. All right? Even if they sentence you to death. They don't even gotta do that, man. All right? All they gotta really give you is 10 years, 20 years without the possibility of parole, and most likely you're gonna be destroyed in there unless you're a man of the elect, man. Unless you're an elect man. More than likely, the Lord gonna kill the mass majority of people that's in jail, man. You could bet your bottom dollar on that, man. All right? Because they not right. They haven't repented. They haven't came into the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. All right? And ultimately, they have been given over to Satan. See, if they would get repentance to recover themselves out of the snare of Satan. All right? That's in the book of Timothy. Right? The prison sentence is a snare. Then they give you false religion in there. All right? You know, false education. You know, they give you their education, man. You know, the forefathers of religions, man. You know? Because they know Jay gonna want to get nearer to his power, but then they give you an idol. So either way it go, Jake just, you know, entrapped, man. It says, which appears to be happening since Landry has taken office. The number of state inmates in Louisiana has grown by approximately 2,000 people to 31,000 overall, according to statistics on the Corrections Department website. That's substantial. That's 150%. It have grown, man. 115%. Whatever that is, right? You take 28, all right, and half in that to 31. Half in that 31 is about what? 15.5 from 2000. Come on, man. It says Angola prison population alone has gone up 426 people since 2024. Now I'll say this as well. Angola is like Rikers, all right? It's the down south Rikers. It's the grittiest, grimiest prison you could possibly be in. People been sitting back down on walls for years, all right? Centuries, man. Decades, okay? Awaiting their judgment, all right? But they're not innocent, you know? Not including those being held in federal immigration detention camps open on the prison grounds last year. Okay? It says the 17.5 million increased land trust proposed for Angola budget next year includes a planned expansion separate from the immigration detainee camp. So add them in. Those are Jake's. The governor wants to put 680 more state inmates on the spiraling 18,000-acre campus following the rehabilitation of older buildings on the grounds. The extra prisoners will require Angola to hire 150 more staff members, so it's more money. So obviously it's a racket, right? These prison systems is a racket, man. Just like war is a racket. Everything is surrounded by money. People don't give a damn about Jake being in that. It's about the money increase. It says in an interview, Westcott said many of the 680 additional people in Angola are expected to be expected to already be part of the state inmate population. They would normally be held as state prisoners in local jails, but those facilities are becoming overcrowded following land sentence changes. Sheriffs are asking for state inmates to be moved from parish lockups into state facilities because they lack space to house them. Okay? It says the prison system has struggled with short staffing at Angola for several years. And I'm gonna say this too. A lot of those staffers be wicked, man. They bring in drugs in. That's their family members, you know. So come on, you know, they hustling, they making money. It's a racket for them as well. It's all corrupt. Its remote location is West Feliciana Parish. The prison entrance is at the end of a 20-mile rural road, makes it difficult to recruit employees to work there. Yeah, it's like that movie Life. You know, just it got that old down south, old hatred Negro spirit to it. Says Westcott said he has asked lawmakers to back a law change during their upcoming spring session that would make it easier for him to rehire retired correctional officers without them having to forfeit retirement benefits. The change should make it easier to staff up at the prison, he said. All right. Pretty much it in that. I'll bring a couple more precepts out. All right, but now you see, you know, there's plans in place to put Jake from a local jail. Jake may have did a slap on a wrist crime, and he getting the gavel slammed on him, man. So again, these people is gonna find a way, all right, to keep Jake in prison, man. You know, but that's the anger and the fury of the Lord. Where he gonna say he want to cut off 2/3 and die, man, of the people. This is 2 Peter 2:9, and this is not a game, all right? It says, Second Peter 2, you know, it's the account with Lot. All right, but I'm going to start at 7. And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. You see? So if a righteous man is vexed with unlawful deeds, that's because the spirit of the Lord in him, all right, he has the spirit of the Lord. So his anger is towards the unlawful deeds of men. All right. And 2/3 of our people is drenched in unlawful deeds, man. All right. Their minds are corrupted. It says, Yahweh knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. See that? You see? This Nahum 1 and 2, like I said, I'll just get a couple more and get out of here, all right? Pun made. We see the plans of these devils, all right? I'm gonna start at 1. It's no, that's cool. I'll start at 2. It says, God is jealous and Yahweh revenge it. Yahweh revenge it and is furious. Yahweh would take vengeance on his adversaries. He reserved wrath for his enemies. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. You see? The Yahweh had his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. So he reserved wrath for his enemies. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. Right? So remember the Lord have set a day to the side for himself, man. Right? He will not let the wicked go free and be exempt from punishment. The only way you have exemption from punishment, you got to have the tawah, all right, which means the exempt from the mark is the exemption from judgment, man. You see, this is Proverbs 16 and 4, and it reads, Yahweh had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the their evil. Now, are not, my people wicked? Right? Are not the Lord say, my people is more wicked than the wicked? They surpass the deeds of the wicked. So the Lord gonna hold men accountable, all right, for everything that, for everything that they doing. Psalm 145, 19 and 20. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him, which is the righteous. He also will hear their cry and will save them. Yahweh preserve all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. Let's say all the wicked, man. Right? So that's universal. So the Lord will destroy the wicked, all right? And there's a reservation for 2/3 to be destroyed, man. So if you are Israelite, all right, you know what you're supposed to do, because if now with the prophets being out, the whole world know what the hell they supposed to do, man. Let's be honest. If the whole world don't know just about this word that went to the ends of all the earth, man. Right? So they heard of it. Now, if a man don't take heed how he standing, at least he fall, okay? Then judgment is reserved for you. So remember, again, if you're trying to get near and dear, try to get near Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, you have to do so of putting off the former man, all right, and putting on a new man, which is renewing your heart and your spirit, man, through righteousness. Or the Lord gonna reserve you, and as men of the Lord, if we don't take this ministry serious, deadly serious and do the things we supposed to do, then the Lord gonna put us in reservation to be destroyed as well. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, man. Till next time, I say shalom.